Let's celebrate the amazing accomplishments and don't let anyone block your view. Let the celebration begin, and congrats to all the 2026 grads. What in tarnation? Sportsnight is next.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sports Night. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Shapiro. We're just about ready to wrap it up,
Yeah,
Joe.
the last shot there really said it all.
Yep.
U.S. Bank, the stadium of choice for the Anoka Hennepin graduations this year. Kind of a cool facility.
Really cool.
For them to have that occasion at. But, yeah, it means we have reached the end. Just a handful of athletes still alive for Cardinals this spring. They are headed to the state tournament,
which is so cool,
this week.
Very exciting.
And a good, strong bunch. Look forward to having some exciting things to talk about from state tournaments next week on Sports Night. But we will get to that a little bit later. We will start with the baseball team. The Cardinals went into last week's section tournament as the 8th seed, traveling to face number 1 Centennial on Wednesday. The Cougars won the regular season meeting 9-1, so the Cards knew the odds were stacked against them. They kept the game close as long as they could, but they weren't able to solve Centennial's pitcher. Cardinal starter Gavin Hostetler stranded a lot of runners in the early innings, but the Cougars pushed a couple across in the second, including the sacrifice fly from Ethan Lewis. That got Tegan Mortensen to the plate with the game's first run. They score on another sac fly in the 4th inning. This time it's Tripp Stensrud driving in Nolan Border. That made it 3-0, but they left 8 runners on base, 5 in scoring position over those first 4 innings, so it could have been much, much worse. More small ball for the Centennial Cougars in the 5th. This time the suicide squeeze, beautifully executed. Lewis drops down the perfect bunt. No chance to get Mortensen at the plate. Cougars up 4. Talk about perfect execution. How about the bluff throw from Hayden McCauley? Gets Steele Johnson off the base at 3rd. Connor will get it back to McCauley for the tag at the plate. Still a game 4-0 after 5. Cougars pad the lead, though, with a 3-run 6th inning. Stensrud with an RBI double to help them push that game way out of reach. Centennial's Jake Williamson had more than enough the first time they crossed the plate. He kept the Cardinals off balance all game, pitched a complete game shutout. He allowed just 4 hits and 2 walks while striking out 8. Cards lose 7-0.
Yeah, Cards, they stayed in it early, and they, like you mentioned, the Centennial stranded a lot of base runners, and they're a pretty good hitting ball club. And, as that game unfolded, you knew that they were going to start hitting the baseball, and unfortunately, the Cardinals really couldn't do that.
Well, and for, Hostetler threw really well. He got himself out of a couple of jams. 2nd and 3rd innings, both innings, they left the bases loaded. So it could have been a lot worse, but they just couldn't get – I mean, if you can't score, you're not going to win.
No,
but
not.
The good thing is not a lot of errors. They did have a couple, but not a lot of errors. And I think only 1 hit batter, it was those types of extra bases and base runners they were allowing early in the season that really cost them. So that is
true.
A sign of improvement. And you want another sign of improvement? How about a win in the first game of the elimination bracket? They've knocked off number 5 seed Forest Lake with a 4-2 victory. Brady Lechner went 2 for 4, 2 doubles, drove in a run. Hayden Lundquist also was 2 for 4. He scored twice. Max Sloan. What number is Max Sloan?
He's number 9.
He went 1 for 3 with an RBI. Gavin Hostetler, 1 for 2 with 2 walks and a run scored. Lechner came in and got the win, but both pitchers threw really well. Unfortunately, the season came to an end against number 2 Anoka. They actually had the Tornadoes in this one. They were up 5-2 early, but gave up 4 runs in the 4th inning, I believe, 4th or 5th inning, and that included a dropped pop-up and a booted ball that could have been a double play. So, kind of helped them out at a crucial point, but they lose 7-5 to a number 2 seeded Anoka team. You got 3 guys with multiple hits in the ball game. These are all great signs for the end of the season. It shows, they were in a game. Both of their losses in the section tournament, by the way, to the 1 and 2 seeds. That's not bad.
Now, it shows some improvement, obviously, at the right time of the year. Unfortunately, they just couldn't get over the hump and beat Anoka. But to play them well in that elimination game, and knowing that they needed to stay alive and stayed close with the number 2 seed, that was impressive.
Yeah, and it shows. It's step one. It was a foundation setting year from the beginning in first year under Coach Don Gowerluck. Take a look at the section brackets. The 4 seeds the 4 top seeds made it to the semifinals unscathed. Andover, the lone team remaining in the undefeated in the double elimination tournament. Blaine, Andover, and Centennial are all still alive. I think those games are today, or they might be on Tuesday this week.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Andover, being the 4 seed, they came in hot too, and they proved that they want this section title.
Well, they're in the driver's seat.
Yep.
Well, when we sat here last week, we talked about the golf section tournaments that happened. Didn't want to put the cart before the horse and spill the beans before we knew really what we were talking about, which happens so frequently with us. It's odd. But unfortunately, none of the boys advanced to day 2 of the section tournament. Good to see the younger guys at the top of the leaderboard at the end of the year. Noah Newquist and Fox Holte, both sophomores. Cole Carlson is a senior, shot an 84. That's one of his better rounds of the season. Jason Bobb, a good story. He came in late in the season and just grabbed a varsity spot, would not give it up. Finishes it with a very solid 85. I think Newquist missed the cut for day 2 by only like 2 strokes, maybe 3. Both senior captains, Clark and Barsness, finished with an 89. On the girls' side, Avery Anderson, for the second straight year, did advance to the second round, and she held up. Not the numbers that she would have liked on either day, a 92 and a 94, but as a sophomore, she has been to day 2 of the section tournament, both of her varsity seasons. Caitlin Davis finishes her career with a 101 on the day. Morgan Severson right behind her, a 112. Sophie Abels, 113. And Dane shot a 128. And kind of an interesting dynamic for that club. You got Avery Anderson. She's obviously off to a great start in her career. You got a couple other really young girls. And then those 3 in the middle, Davis, Severson, and Abels, all seniors, all have been on the team for like varsity players for the last three seasons. So they'll be missed, but they have some young talent right behind them that should make it very exciting in the future.
The good thing about golf, especially for those young kids, is that they can play all summer. They can improve their game. They continue to grow, and then coming back into the season, hopefully make their game that much better.
Well, and for high school golf, that is an absolute must.
Yes.
This school season is so short, you're not going to see great improvement. Now is the time to get better for next year.
Absolutely. Well, the Cardinals volleyball team has really been competitive all year, but their draw in the section tournament, that was a really tough one. The Cards had won 4 of the last 5 in the regular season, but that was 1 loss to their first round opponent. The 6-seeded Cardinals lost twice to Rogers this spring, both in straight sets. They were hoping to prove the adage that it's hard to beat a team 3 times. Opening set, Cardinals trailing but keeping pace with the Royals. They get their big gun going, senior Griffin Garbo with a no-doubt kill, and he keeps it close. But those Royals respond by going to their own big gun, 6'3" senior Mason Cook crushing it in the middle. He was just getting started. Rogers takes the first set by a 25-18 score. Home team keeps the momentum flowing into the second. They fake the set to Cook in the middle, and instead it's Ethan Pearson getting the kill on the right side. They got up big early, but the Cards never backed down. Check out the defense in the middle. Junior William Wallace with a great stuff block to deny Cook. That fires up the Cardinals, but they drop to the second set 25-12. Cardinals fighting for their season in the third. Good serve received. They go to sophomore Alex Ove in the middle. He gets the kill, keeping hope alive. But those Royals weren't going away. They were going to play any longer than they had to. They Cook in the middle. He pounds it right off the chest of Easton Sperlin. Out of play, Rogers sweeps up against the Cardinals for the 3rd time this season. 25-16 is the final in the 3rd.
Yeah, and it's just, you looked at it, Maple Grove and Anoka were the 4 and 5 seeds. Coon Rapids the 6th.
Yep.
All were pretty close. Coon Rapids probably matches up with either Anoka or Maple Grove better
They do.
Than they do against Rogers, but that's the way the volleyball bounces sometimes. So a first-round exit for the Cardinals. A minor upset, Maple Grove over Anoka, the 5 over the 4. Other than that, 2-seeded St. Michael Albertville in straight sets and Rogers in straight sets. Maple Grove also in straight sets. Well, both lacrosse teams opened the postseason on Tuesday last week, and they were both the underdogs in a play-in round. The boys won their last 2 regular season games, so they went in feeling a little bit better. And when it's an 8 versus 9 game, anything can happen. But Mounds View was 7-2 since late April, and still just an 8 seed. So the Mustangs were charging into the playoffs with a little something to prove. Catbirds in attack mode early. Ryan Nielsen, strong play behind the net. Feeds Kyan Labansky for a quick one-timer out front. SLPCR with a 2-1 lead early. Unfortunately, it doesn't last long. Mustangs in transition. They catch the Catbirds out of position. Jack Wendland scores in close. Mounds View back in front 3-2. Second quarter now, sophomore standout Caden Conkler with a great individual effort. Gets a steal at midfield, runs right to the critical scoring area, and rifles it past the keeper. Still down 1 at that point. How about Conkler again? This time working his way on the left side. Thinks about the pass, keeps it instead. He's going to score from a short angle, and that tied the game at 4. Then the momentum swung back in favor of the home team. Mustangs take advantage of another defensive breakdown. Rex Robbie walking in all alone for that goal. That was part of 5 unanswered for Mounds View before the break. David Gibbs able to get around the corner. He gets in close for another. That put the Mustangs up 9-4 at the half. Early third, Catbird captain Toby Tramby working across the top of the box. Great pass down low to Nielsen. He turns and scores, but SLPCR is never able to challenge the lead in the second half. Micah Fuller with a strong run right down the middle. Mustangs gallop to the quarterfinals with an 18-8 win.
Yeah, SLPCR kept it close early, and unfortunately, they, Mounds View was a good team, and they opened it up.
Well, and then Mounds View, it really just kept them alive to go against the number 1 seed. And, you see what Stillwater did to them.
Yeah.
They played like a number 1 seed.
They did.
Another 5 over 4 minor upset with Centennial over Irondale in a close one. Stillwater, again, not close at all. White Bear advances with a solid 10-1 win. And Matabita just barely slipping past Hill Murray. That quarterfinal round is happening, or semifinal round is happening tonight. On the girls' side, they took a long drive. They were the 10th seed and went up to number 7 Hermantown, a 2-hour drive in order to lose 11-5 in the first round of the playoffs. A tough year for a young
really
girls team. And similar story though. It just kept Hermantown alive for one more game. It meant they got to drive all the way down here to get beat by Blaine. They gave Blaine a good game though in that 7 versus 2. Blaine taking on Centennial tonight in the semifinals, and Andover is at Chisago Lakes, the number 4 seed at the number 1. So all 4 of the top seeds
4 teams
on that side.
Well, we mentioned at the top of the show, Joe, it's state tournament time for some Cardinal athletes, and the track and field team is making a tradition of sending a strong contingent every year. For the boys, 3 of the individuals and 3 relays qualify for this week's big meet. 9 total athletes represent the Cardinals red, and all will be looking to close out their season on the biggest stage possible. Senior captain Loic Joitza is heading to state for the 2nd straight year. He had a personal best of time of 14.86 seconds in the 110-meter hurdles to finish in 2nd place. Great multi-sport athlete will finish his career at state. Cardinal relay team, they're clearly a strength, and they flexed it at sections again this season. This is the 4x2. They qualified for the state for the 3rd straight season. Juniors Mackay Martin and Cyril Lafaka were part of last year's relay. They're joined by sophomore Davion Ellis and senior Demillion Jones. They finished runners-up in a time of 1:28.25, about 0.2 of a second better than last year. Cardinals 4x100 relay is joining the party. There you see here's the 400, 4x100. had a 2-year absent in the 4x2. Just one senior, Davion Ellis, is joined by juniors Alvon Smith and Elijah Hibbler. Cam Cummings-Coleman, the only senior, they'll finish second as well with a time of 42.65. There are 2 Cardinals, as you see the podium there, and there are 2 Cardinals competing in 3 events at state, including 2 relays. Demillion Jones with a great finish in the 400 meter, able to slip into second spot with a time of 49.33 seconds. There are a few better ways to cap a career than qualifying for 3 events at state as a senior. The other guy who will lace him up for 3 events, as you see the podium there, junior captain Cyril Lafaka, was at state with 2 relays last year. This year he tacks on a second-place finish in the 200-meter dash as well. His time was 22.24 seconds. Then Makai Martin in the blocks for the 4x4. He's going back to state in both the 4x2 and the 4x4. 3rd straight year the Cards have qualified in this relay as well. Caleb Zena and Lafaka are in the middle. Then watch the finish for Demillion Jones. He makes a pass in the final stretch, goes on to 1st place finish, crossing in a time of 3:19.58. It's the Cardinals' only section championship, and those young men again looking for an even stronger finish at state. What a nice finish.
Boy, and a couple of nice finishes.
Yep.
A pass at the last second to finish second,
yep.
And then a pass at the very end for the only section championship for the boys. As a team, they finish in 5th place with 88 points. There you see some of the others that were just off the state trip. Boaduga finished 5th in the triple jump, with Jackson right behind him in 6th. Zena had a 6th place finish in the 400. Yancey was 7th in the 300-meter hurdles, with Jotza finishing 8th. Davion Ellis was 8th place in the 200-meter dash. Hunter Tannum 8th in the discus. Neal was 9th in the long jump. Cam Cummings-Coleman 9th in the 100-meter. And 10th place finishes for Boaduga in the high jump and Cameron Ka in the pole vault. So exciting, but
absolutely
not quite finished.
No,
not quite finished. And we knew that coming in. You know, this is 3 years in a row for both 4x2 and 4x4. 4x1, as you mentioned, getting back for the first time after a 2-year absence. So they got 3 out of 4. They were really looking to sweep and get all 4.
Would have been nice.
2 State just came up short in the 4x8. But it's still a solid group that will be there. And I'm sure there will be an even larger group supporting.
Yeah, and we certainly wish them all the best.
Well, the girls' team returned all 5 athletes that went to state last year, and all 5 are going again this season. They make up the Cardinals' 2 sprint relays. When you have all 4 athletes back, you don't break up those formulas. Cardinals made some tweaks over the season, but at sections, they put those lineups back together, and they performed exactly as expected, exceptionally. Forest Lake was the host for the sections this season. We just get to the end of the 4x2. Solange Barkin, Malia Galama, Matoria Kamara, and Danielle Uday absolutely dominant. Their time of 1:43.28, almost 2 full seconds ahead of second place. Also 2 full seconds ahead of their finish last year. The 4x1 was 3 of the same 4 girls, Barkin, Kamara, and Uday. Swap Amari Royal in for Kamara. And you have another great contender. This race couldn't have been much closer. Check out the finish. Cardinals edged by less than 1/10 of a second. They take second place in 48.64 seconds. Step 1 accomplished. Now their biggest meet of the year is coming up this week. And they have company. Gladys Boyce is going in the shot put. She finished second with a distance of 42 feet 3 inches. The senior captain has had an outstanding season, and this is exactly the finish she was hoping for. Solange Barkin just missed the cut, finishing 4th in the 200 meter. Ruby Demmer 5th place in both the 1 and 2 mile races. 5th place finishes also go to Shania Horton in the high jump, Danielle Uday in the long jump. Jessica Freeman was 7th in the 300 hurdles. Kiawu was 8th in the 100 meter hurdles. Royal, a 9th place finish in the 200 meter dash. A 9th place finish also for Boyce in the discus. Uday was 11th in the 100 dash, and Kamara was 11th in the 400 meter dash. So 6 girls going to state, 9 boys.
It's amazing.
Best of luck to those 15
Yes,
Cardinals.
absolutely. So
And I
excited
hope
for
they
them.
have a huge contingent there, cheering them on. Just so impressive. These are the boys. Jotza in the 110, Demillion Jones in the 400 meter, and Cyril Lafaka in the 200. Cyril is a junior. The other two are seniors. And then you look at the relays. The best part of it is that, again, you have like one senior in each of those
Really talented.
relays, and you see a lot of the same names. So you have Makai Martin in two of the relays, Lafaka and Jones, as you talked about, also in two of those three relays at state. On the girls' side, Cladis Boyce, as I mentioned, great way for her to finish her season and her career, one of the Cardinal captains. And then those 4x1 and 4x2 relays, they have some unfinished business at state. They both made it last year. Same scenario. They both finished as runners-up last year. They want to improve on last year's state finishes. That is happening this week from Thursday through Saturday.
The best of luck.
And we will have hopefully some very exciting news to talk about next week on Sports Night. We win, lose, or draw at state, we will be wrapping up not only the spring season, but the 2025-26 school year.
Crazy. Wow. And our 29th year we're wrapping up.
Number 29.
Amazing.
29?
29.
But that's going to do it for this edition of Sports Night. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us and continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young, saying good night.